Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this is a short video about the sources that I used to help me create my definition sheets after I had sorted my information together to create my one sheets. Hang out with me here, and I'm going to have some information for you on the sources that I used to create my definition sheets. Just want to touch on a couple of the previous video segments. We went over finding sample essays on the California Bar website, which has samples back to October 2009. And on my website, which has them back through June of 2002. We then went through the process of how I use plain sheets of paper to pull the issues from the old essays, then use Apache OpenOffice, LibreOffice, or any other spreadsheet software to organize and sort the issues. We do this to discover which issues come up most often and what we really must master to be well prepared for the first year of law students' examination. We also mentioned that if you're not fully comfortable with using spreadsheet software, then you can simply grab the PDF files that I have on my website from when I first created my one-sheets. This is the type of document that we need to create to lock information into our head. It's the process of doing all this that does the trick. If you go through the steps of pulling the issues from the sample essays and sorting them, you're just going to be in a better shape for the upcoming steps, the actual first draft of your one-sheet, and the creation of definition sheets. We also covered that in order to better understand the most important issues, that review of how the authors answered the sample essays will assist you in clarifying how to arrange the issues and sub-issues. In the actual creation of the one sheet, you're probably going to have several versions as you tweak or fine-tune your efforts. It is this very process that begins to lock the information into your head. It is one of the most important steps. And you can't lock in your one sheets until you start working with your definition sheets. In fact, both of these documents will continue to influence each other until you have a very workable set of materials. After I had failed my first attempt in June 2012, I had my original set of one-sheets and definition sheets completed in plenty of time to take the October 2012 first-year law students exam. The only reason I failed that exam was due to two stupid mistakes. On the other two essays that I wrote up, I scored 65s. With the 72 on the MCQs for that exam, 4 65s would have scaled out to a 572. An easily passing score, and I was geared up for at least that level of performance. There's plenty of time to get this done for the October exam for anyone who's unfortunate enough to receive the official notice informing them that they failed the June exam. Working with the material to perfect it to the best you can in the time you have is exactly what allows you to be the master of your very own one-sheets and definition sheets. The process is to organize the issues, discover what's most important, group issues and sub-issues, and seek out definitions or rules of law that you can use effectively and efficiently on the exam. This is the point where you'll discover that with all that fancy book learning we did, not one of the sources have truly perfect definitions or rules of law for everything we need to know. Certainly, we all know that the definition of common law burglary is the breaking and entering into the dwelling house of another in the nighttime with the specific intent to commit a felony therein. But try to find that in my casebook. Both the Emmanuel Outline and the Gilberts Law Summary have a solid definition, but forget about trying to find that in my casebook. Black's Law Dictionary certainly has an authoritative definition. So let's look at the sources of where I would score my understanding of the issues now that we have a rough draft of our one sheet in the works. For free, Wikipedia. If you go to my website and click on the Study Law button under the heading of Pre-Law Information, you'll be taken to a page which has links to Wikipedia pages that can really get you moving through understanding this material. I have a good number of links to valid information on Wikipedia for both 1L and 2L subjects. For free, Old Essays. The sample passing essays did in fact pass the first-year law students' examination, but they had been written under the pressure of time and the fact that 80% of us are going to fail the exam every single time. So the definitions may not all be perfect, but some of them are very close to it. For some money, Gilberts Law Summaries. Jeff Fleming, of Fleming's Fundamentals of Law, discusses Gilberts Law Summaries in the lecture series that I have, but I didn't know about them until I looked into them online. I purchased a 1L Gilberts and I love them. While they're not paying me to say that, I'd certainly be happy with a big bag of money for it, but for me, the Gilberts Law Summaries get the job done. I think the Gilberts are the tool to use for understanding this stuff quickly and efficiently. For free, the internet and Google. Google is your friend. If there's a term that you need help with, just Google it. When you use Google, you're going to get a series of valid hits. One of the ones that I found to be very helpful in putting my materials together was part of a website for online paralegal training. For some reason, excellent pages of their program had been available online. I can't think of who they are now, but just know that Google returns excellent information. One of them that I looked at just today was Free Legal Dictionary. Just Google that term and you'll find a free legal dictionary. I tested a few terms and the site came back with great information. Short and sweet, when in doubt, Google it. For some money, Black's Law Dictionary. When it all comes down to brass tacks, an authoritative source is going to be Black's Law Dictionary. I have to admit that the majority of my efforts came down to clarifications from Black's Law Dictionary. This is not the easiest resource to use because sometimes we think of an issue, but we're going to be bounced around the book to find how they want us to know it. Sometimes it's part of another definition, just for fun. Still, it was probably the #1 most valuable resource I had, but I used all of the above and more, and I always will as I work on one-sheets and definition sheets for all of the law study subjects. With all of this said, I'll probably create a short video segment about the creation of one-sheets and definition sheets and how they play against each other in creating a document that is just about as close to perfect as you're going to find. In fact, remember that I refer to my definition sheets as perfectly imperfect definitions that cover the most amount of area with the fewest amount of words. Until then, take care and be well.